Welcome to the Hellmouth. Hope everybody's 5x5. This is Major Slayage, Ket Arik, Rewatch, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. My name is Eric, and to my right, your left, my vibrant, vivacious, voluptuous, vigilant, volatile, vocal, vampy wife and co-host who is virtually vibrating with vim and vigor. You know her as half the powerhouse duo that is Kim and Ket. Stay alive, baby. Give it up for the VIP vixen, Ketrin Porter.
That was really good. And I made myself laugh because when you said wife, I expected you to say vife.
Give it up for my wife.
That made me giggle to
Hello.
myself.
We are here to talk about Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 2, Episode 22, Becoming Part 2. We are at the end of the second season. I can't quite put this into perspective yet, so we're going to do like a Season 2 debrief in total because we got a lot to talk about today. So when we do the episode next week to launch Season 3, we'll kind of look back at Season 2 as a whole and go from there. What did you think of this episode?
Oh, it's gut-wrenching. It's great. If there were missteps, here's what I'll say. If there were missteps, I can't remember them. Like, they may come up in my notes, but
Right.
like the overall impression, I can't think of any egregious missteps.
There's nothing egregious in this. Now, we our superhero power seems to be able to find nitpicks in everything. But no, this is a fantastic episode. Some of my favorite stuff in the whole series happens in this episode.
Yeah.
Which we will talk about. High grades, high marks, 10s, 10s, 10s across the board, I would say. Before we launch into it, did you have a marital grievance today?
I very much have a marital grievance today. Do you see this adorable sweater?
Birthday present from your cousin, Allison.
Oh, look, he's even stealing the description of the sweater. So my cousin and I exchanged birthday gifts last night, and I got this sweater, and it is so comfortable and so cute. Before I even got it fully out of the box, Eric said, "Oh, we wear the same size now. Can I try it on?" Grabbed it, absconded with it, ran into the house to put it on, and came back out and had my cousin take a picture of him in it.
Which we will show right here.
And then this morning, I was like, this motherfucker is going to ask to wear it on the episode. Sure enough, I'm doing my makeup and he says, "Can I wear the..." No, I'm wearing it I'm wearing my sweater for the episode. Marital grievance.
Well, I certainly won't say it looks better on me, but I think it looks equally good on me. This sweater is a fantastic fit for me.
My grievance is not how good it looks on you. My grievance,
indisputable.
My grievance is that 'tis mine. And I get first dibs on it, if nothing less.
Do you not understand what a marriage is? I think for all of the French fries you've eaten out of my bag for the last 16 years, I think a sweater is a small price to pay to try and balance those scales.
I was actually saving you from those calories. What are you saving me from other than looking adorable?
All right.
Marital
well,
grievance.
Look forward to an episode in Season 3 where I will be wearing the dog sweater. It kind of looks like our little baby girl Ethel, which I think was the inspiration for the gift. But thank you, Allison, for our new sweater. Do you have a spell for us?
I was so concerned about my marital grievance that I forgot a spell.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we've only done this 33 times. So how would you possibly be expected to remember that?
Yeah, 34 times the charm.
All right, I'm going to rewind a little bit. My marital grievance is I do a show with a witch who's supposed to be presenting a spell every episode. And
how many times have I forgotten, do you think?
Probably 6.
Yeah.
Now, usually what we do is we stop the recording. She goes and whips something up and then brings it in. But we're gonna press on today.
Yeah.
So there's that. I'm excited to talk about this episode anyway. Yeah. So let's get into it.
Okay, I'm just going to read verbatim the first 2 lines of my notes because I feel like they're succinct and tells you exactly what's going on. Cops. Xander knocked out. Snyder. Boof. Snyder pisses himself. An adult cop fires at an unarmed teenager.
On brand for the cops.
Yeah.
This is
but also, why did I write adult cop? Like, there's toddler cops.
Yeah, there's a bunch of kindergarten cops running around.
But in case anyone was wondering, the cop was an adult.
Yeah, they've got virtually no evidence linking her to this other than she was there. But it's just as easy that she happened upon the body, which is what happened in real life.
Yeah.
Say it again because I said happened. It's just as likely that she happened upon the body, which is what actually happened. And then, wild that a police officer, it's not even like gonna take out the knee and try and keep her from fleeing.
It was a kill
full
shot.
on headshot.
Yeah.
Thank God Buffy is faster than a speeding bullet.
Yeah. And Snyder was just like, A-okay with me shooting my student.
But we're off to the races. Very exciting. One of the differences we'll note right away is this kind of feels like one continuous episode in that the story picks up exactly where the last one left off. However, flashbacks are gone. The flashbacks were a big part of Becoming Part 1. They aren't present in this one. So I think the episode break actually is a nice kind of like palate cleanse reset.
That's a good.
So we are just in the present day story for the rest of this.
That's a really good point. Buffy goes to the hospital incognito.
Okay, we're gonna nitpick this. She's there's an APB out.
Somehow she looks more conspicuous in the outfit she's chosen.
More conspicuous and more like Buffy.
Yeah.
She doesn't look like, because one of the key descriptors is blonde teenager.
Yeah.
All her blonde hair is hanging out of this. She should have at least stuffed it up in there. Now, what I would like to have seen, red bob, glasses.
Why doesn't she have disguises? She should have disguises.
She should have a whole bag of disguises.
Especially now that the cops are involved. Like, she has to foil human foes. You know, I'm sure demons can, like, I don't know, smell her
out. Yeah.
But humans can't. Yeah, let's get her a nice little red bob. Okay, so she's visiting the hospital. Xander comes up to her with his broken arm. You were surprised that he was sort of up and about. That looked like a clean break. So I don't think it was difficult to set in that cast, and he's hopped up on painkillers.
Yeah, but if you're that hopped up on painkillers, that should affect your demeanor in some way.
It's Sunnydale. They're magical painkillers.
The Hellmouth masks the side effects of painkillers.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And then we have this weird Freaky Friday moment where Buffy and Xander switch bodies. And Buffy says the most sort of inappropriate sexualized comment to Xander that I was like, what?
Someone's coming through, and so Buffy and he kind of hug and canoodle, kind of like Black Widow and Captain America kissing at the mall.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Because the theory is that public affection makes people feel like they're invading your privacy, and they look away. They're less likely to kind of clock what you look like.
Yeah.
So they have this little moment, and then she immediately says,
"Okay, that was about equal parts protecting me and copping a feel, right?"
Which is a kind of a Xander line. The way I took that, it definitely was like, but it didn't throw me so much because I think she's trying to touch normal for a second in the middle of this craziness. And she's kind of thinking, that's the kind of joke you like, right? This is the kind of thing you would find funny.
Okay. All right. It didn't work, but I hear what you're saying. Yeah. Xander takes Buffy in to see Willow, who is still unconscious.
Now, Giles has been knocked out 743 times in this series. They've never taken him to the hospital and never been concerned. Willow gets one bump on the head and it's the end of the fucking world.
Well, Giles normally wakes up. Willow's not waking up.
I guess, if they had to lug Giles around Weekend at Bernie style for 2 days, they'd probably take her to the hospital.
Yeah, I think that's more what we're dealing with, is like she's not like reviving. We also get a glimpse of just sort of like the neglect of Willow. Like, it's not just Xander who clearly has a subpar home life. Because we get
right now 100% of the parents in the show are dog shit. I said what I said.
So, we learned that her parents are in Phoenix. I'm ignoring that. Her parents are in Phoenix, and you brought up the good point. Like, okay, her parents are out of town, whatever. And then we went, wait a minute, she's 16, and it's like, I'm trying to remember like when I was left home alone. Like, maybe it was maybe it was like 16. My mom took like
work trips and left me by myself when I was 16.
This just feels.
But I also had, questionable parents. I like to say I was raised by raccoons. So
Yeah, it also this doesn't feel like the first time that they've just been like, deuces.
Right.
Cordy comes in and it was a really comfortable hug and kiss with Xander. I thought was really sweet. And then Cordy has to come clean about the fact that she ran like a woman.
You ran like a woman.
Interesting.
yeah, it was poetic in a way.
Yeah.
I think this was an attempt to course correct after an egregious line.
Yeah. Do you
in
think
the
they
last episode.
even
acknowledged
it?
Because it was so stupid in Go Fish when she teases Xander from running away from a monster, even though we've seen them run away from monsters for the entire show.
Also, to use her own gender to insult him was just like,
it's not very Cordy.
yeah. So they don't know where Giles is. He was whisked away while everyone was knocked out or not there. So let's go see where Giles is. Jangel is in the lair, and this was an interesting like blocking choice. I liked it a lot. Giles is laying on the ground and Angel is laying on his belly like directly in front of him, like the way that people like they get a new puppy and they just like lay on the ground and look at their new puppy. Angel brought him here to get information about how to do the ritual, but part of him is hoping that Giles does not cave or doesn't know because he's very excited to reopen his torture era. The cops have come to talk to Joyce, parent of the year. Not parent of, she's not parent of the year. Here's the problem.
Prosecution rests, Your Honor.
He's making me over defend her because he's turning her into this villain that is just wildly inappropriate and untrue. So he's making me be the defense when it's like, I'm just trying to like watch the trial. Like I'm not trying to like, she's not the worst parent. Like, she's made some missteps.
No, but
like,
there's a lot of real estate between the worst parent and a good parent, and Joyce is safely in that range.
I don't. Let me live. The whole thing, your daughter has a history of violence, doesn't she? Blah, blah, blah. This is where Joyce learns that Willow was the other victim because she's like, maybe she's at Willow's house. And the cops are like, no, Willow's in the hospital.
Did you have an issue with the police telling her all this business?
Yes, but then also Snyder gives us a reason why they did that later in the episode.
Okay.
So that it's justified. They're fucking idiots. The last time we saw a cop fire at an unarmed teenager, that cop was a demon. We've now seen a non-demon cop do the exact same thing.
That demon was just mimicking what the real cops do to blend in.
Yeah, exactly. So do I think it was the right choice for them to just spill all of the tea to the suspect's mom? No. Am I surprised? Not in the slightest. Buffy now goes to Giles's house. Look, is he here? He is not, but Cherry Pop and Whistler is. He's being cryptic. This guy likes to get cute. Like, I will say that. I think he's useful. He knows what's going on. He's a bit of an oracle of sorts.
He sees someone Angel a little bit, and then he's going to tell you enough to let you know he knows something, but he's not going to tell you enough to know what it is.
To know what it is. Yeah. So, and Buffy has never met this clown before.
Right.
So she immediately slams him up against the wall, which I was like, that checks out.
She has a fucking grisly line.
I loved it.
She was like,
if you have information worth hearing, then I am grateful for it. If you're going to crack jokes, then I'm going to pull out your ribcage and wear it as a hat.
Hello to the imagery. Very nice.
Wear it like a hat.
That is some Angel Spike level imagery.
Yeah.
Like some crazy, gruesome shit.
I loved it. Another Freaky Friday moment. Angel stepped into Buffy's body for a second.
We get a lot of that this episode. We get characters doing impressions of other characters.
Cherry Pop and Whistler is being cryptic. What are you prepared to do? What are you prepared to give up? All reasonable things, but like, let's save it for like the self-help session. Like, we have things to do. Let's not be
let's
doing shadow work while we're trying to find Giles.
You know what? Let's save it for the voiceover of the commercial for this episode.
There we go.
What is Buffy prepared to do?
Yeah, there we go.
What is Buffy prepared to give up?
The incredible season finale, Buffy.
Now, he does give her something to contemplate, which comes back later. In the end, you're always by yourself. You're all you've got. Now that was a morsel of wisdom that Buffy clearly needed, which we'll get to later. So now Buffy is walking around Sunnydale. She's stopped by the cops. Freeze! I'm going to shoot this unarmed blonde teenager. And then she's saved by her hero. It's Spike.
I did not
Oh my God.
remember
So
that
great.
they teamed up, even like an uneasy, fractious alliance this early. This was his big coming out moment after sitting in a chair for 75 years.
It was scrumptious.
It was amazing.
Do
Fun.
you remember what he says?
Hello, cutie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, cutie.
And they've got such chemistry, and he's willing to tank all of her punches because he needs her.
That
she
was
needs
cool
him.
looking. That was really cool looking. Both of them like taking each other's punches was very cool. James Marsters also does a really cool. It looks cooler than I imagine it would be useful in an actual fight, but he does it all the time. And I kind of want to break it down. I'll have you put the clip right here.
Okay.
Where he like.
You got to hold here. Let me hold your mic, because every time you do this, you go off mic and we don't hear what you're saying.
Where he like punches, but he always like he kind of like pulls. I don't know what he's doing with this hand, but he always looks very cool when he does it.
Yeah.
And
I imagine that is in a film.
Yeah.
You're not actually punching anything, and it's to give him the sense of some kind of contact.
Oh,
If I had to guess, that's what that was.
It looks cool. So she's fighting Spike, but like he's trying to like take some of her punches and like get a word in, kind of thing.
And he has surrenders.
Yes. And he's like, we're on the same team. He tells her that Angel has Giles. And Buffy's like, why do you want to help me? And this is what you talked about.
Yeah, when we watched part 1, and again, virtually no memory.
And I tried to justify it because that's what I do, but Spike's take makes much better.
Yeah, he's like,
sense.
I like the world and having free access to people I can eat, and I also enjoy things like he likes English football. He's
Manchester United,
Man United fan.
Yeah,
and he wants to be able to continue that.
Yeah.
He's like, and some people come in with a big idea and they want to end everything, and it's like they don't really think that through. Like, that's kind of a terrible idea.
They're just like, this is the evil thing to do without any regard for for its practicality. He also says like he wants Drew back. He wants Drew Angel distraction free. So they are able to work together in this sense.
The surge of adrenaline. I get this in this show sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
We talk a lot of shit about the show. My mother-in-law, your mom, said to us again, she's like, I don't know, I watched that fish episode and it really seems like you guys hate the show. And it's like, no, we love the show so much that when an episode is wonky, like it riles us up. Also, our friend Tony from All Bronze No Brains said he thinks our episodes are funnier when we don't like the episode. He might be onto something.
Yeah.
But the moments I love are when they do something really cool, pieces fit together. I thought that the first time I felt this with this show was season 1, episode 7, Angel, when Darla shows up at the Bronze with 2 fucking guns.
Oh yeah.
And there's this mad shootout.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was just like, what is happening? I felt like a little kid, just like overstimulated. I used to get in trouble. My brother and I would rent ninja movies. It didn't matter how bad they were. They had ninjas in it. We wanted to watch it. And then we would bounce off the walls for 2 hours, karate chopping each other and doing somersaults. And my dad would get so pissed, like, I said, no more fucking ninja movies. You guys can't handle it. You're overstimulated. It's no more ninja movies. And then, of course, we would do it again. That's how I felt when Spike and Buffy joined up. I wanted to bounce off the wall and start karate chopping. Like, it was so exciting.
Buffy is reluctant, obviously, and she's like,
I hate you.
And I'm all you've got.
Buffy has another like kind of out of character line in that scene, which is the only part of that scene that bumps me, where she like calls Drew a big hoe.
Yeah, you're touching on a lot of my best and worst lines, because I think there a lot of them are, but that's okay. We'll revisit them. But yeah, it's the kind of Willow calls Cordelia a skanky hoe. It seems to be an insult that they like to throw around to a modern ear in the era where Hayley Williams has had to walk back once a whore, you're nothing more in the song Misery Business. Mm-hmm. It just makes us aware of like that's a really lazy insult. And
Lazy.
you're just reinforcing the patriarchy when you tear down other women in that specific way.
Yeah.
And so this is definitely, we had a TikTok comment where someone was like, you guys are trying to watch a 90s show through a 2025 lens, like as an insult. And I was like, no, that's precisely what this show is. That's exactly what we're that's a big part of what this is what has aged well, what hasn't, what stuff is timeless, what stuff have we outgrown.
Yeah.
And
that's
I
like
feel
saying,
like calling girls calling each other a hoe, especially when it's not really warranted. Like that's
like saying like you can't discuss Shakespeare in a modern era and critique it because we're critiquing it from a modern lens. It's like, yeah, that's part of learning about humanity and how it evolves and learning.
Part of the life cycle of art. That's how do different generations
view something,
encounter a piece of art. So it's funny when people are like trying to invalidate what we do because they want us to just be locked in amber.
Yeah. We go back to the hospital and Cordy so sweetly offers to get Xander coffee. It was a really beautiful, genuine moment. Charisma Carpenter is very good at playing those small, intimate, kind moments. And we don't get to see that character do it very often. So it's always
when her armor is off.
Yeah.
She brings a lot of pathos to those moments. And that seems to be her role in smoothing things over when tensions are high in this relationship. She goes and fetches some coffee.
Yeah, it's very sweet. So she goes, Xander takes Willow's hand and is talking to her, just please, you have to wake up. And he says, I love you. And she stirs. And Xander's like, oh my God, she's waking up. And then she says, Oz?
And I don't know who that is.
Who's Oz?
She's talking about the movie The Wizard of Oz for some reason. It was really strange.
And then this guy comes in, this sweet-looking guy, and he says, I'm here. The magical Oz has arrived.
Oz showing up in the last episode and them being so cuddly and canoodly at lunch almost had the effect of the monks are doing a spell and have convinced us that Oz has been here the whole time, much like they made Dawn into a key.
Oh my God.
It's like, because he was not in it for like 6 episodes.
Yeah.
And it's
God,
like,
you're so right.
What is happening?
These two have really great chemistry. It's a waste. I don't know
it's
why.
Maddening. In the trivia crypt for Go Fish, if you're on our Patreon, we do a mini deep dive into each episode the week after it comes out. And we talk about why Oz was absent. Now, there's not a ton of information on that. I don't want to spoil the whole trivia crypt, but everything I can find about why Oz isn't on the show has to do with him finally deciding to leave the show in season 4. But there was a lot of reasons, hint at it briefly here. The original plan was to kill Oz instead of Jenny. So they didn't think the back half of the season, what his character was going to be up to. Also, he was shooting a lot of stuff at the time, which we'll get into. So you can get more fulsome discussion of that on our trivia crypt on our Patreon.
So Giles is being tortured and Angel is loving it. And he's so just aloof and evil. He's evil. Giles is not looking good,
but he's earned mad respect. Angel's like, yeah, you're
taking it. And to be clear, Rupert is taking a nap. This is all Ripper taking this fully. And Angel comes over and kneels next to him. And we don't see like below either of the men's torsos. And you said this in the watch along.
Mm-hmm.
He's clearly doing something to Giles, like underneath the frame of the camera.
Yeah, he's south of the equator.
Is he grabbing his balls really tight?
Yeah, that seems to be the implication. It's impossible to confirm or deny.
Like, I watched it for my note taking and I was like, I don't know what else this would be. It's so subtle though, that I'm just like, is this what we're doing? And the tone of that is just really, no pun intended, ballsy. Let's go check in on Spuffy, or Bike, if you will. They're walking into Buffy's house and Joyce pulls into the driveway like, bitch, where you been? I got the cops asking where you are. Somebody's dead. Willow's in the hospital. Where you been, bitch? And Buffy in this moment is, caught out, and Spike is fascinated by the fact that her mom doesn't know what she is.
Buffy lies and says that they're
She's
in a band together.
Yeah, which was very funny. Buffy kind of has to shut it down, be like, let's go inside. Just as they're about to go inside, a vamp pops out and she has to dust it. I mean, Joyce probably has dust in her hair.
Joyce
it was
has
right there.
First responders disease from inhaling vampire dust.
100%. And at this point, so then Spike and Buffy are having this internal conversation of I think Angel sent him, blah, blah, blah.
Angel, your boyfriend?
Yeah. Right. Poor Joyce. She's just I've missed a lot.
Yeah, maybe take a night off the gallery.
Motherfucker.
Maybe you get a clue what's happening in your own house. And also Buffy's about to invite Spike into the house, which I know they know how to undo that now, but it's sort of like when you subscribe to a streaming service for a 7-day trial. If you don't set a reminder to remember to cancel, they're going to charge your ass. If she doesn't set a reminder to rescind this invitation, now Spike has access to her house.
Yeah, and here's the thing. We currently know that she doesn't have time to do that spell at any point in all of the hubbub that's happening right now. He could go back in and eat Joyce at any moment.
And the very next scene, she leaves the house and doesn't come back for some indeterminate amount of time.
Right? Shit. Yeah.
I guess she comes back to pack her bag, but yeah, this Spike invitation is just outstanding, and I'm sure it's going to get fucking exploited in season 3.
Finally, Buffy's like, my mom just inhaled vampire. There's no getting out of this one.
Mom, I'm a vampire slayer.
Boom. We did it. So
ripped off that Band-Aid.
Yeah. So before we see how that's going to play out, we got to go back to the hospital. Willow is on the phone with Buffy. Oz brought her Jell-O, and she says they don't think my brain got mushed at all.
She knows how many fingers there are, who's the president.
Yeah. And Buffy says, she's fully resolved now about Angel. And she says to Willow, I know I'm never going to get him back the way he was. Spoice is in the living room, very awkwardly, just sitting there.
I love Joyce and Spike scenes.
Me too. I am so excited that I didn't realize we got them so early.
Right.
But this one, they're literally just sitting in silence. It's so funny. Bander is on the phone. They are deciding that they're going to hit the lair at daybreak.
Right.
Which is smart. So back to Spoice, Joyce asks, have we met before? And Spike says, yeah, you hit me with an axe one time, get the hell away from my daughter. So nonchalant, so funny, so small talky. This is just, it's a delightful. I feel like this particular scene, the writers went, oh, we got to put Spike into everyday situations.
Yeah, because he's so uncomfortable and so he's such a fish out of water.
Yeah.
And he's above it all.
Yeah.
And he can be nonchalant about, you whacked. He's not angry at her. He's not, now I have to get you back. He's just like, this whole fucking thing is absurd.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to roll with it.
Yeah. So gets awkward again. And Joyce says, so do you live here in town? It was so great. All right. So now Spike is making a deal. Here's the basic gist of it. First of all, Spike is very proud of Drew for bagging a Slayer. And Buffy's like, timing. That's not what we're doing right now. Joyce is not keeping up at all. She's trying to interject with questions about wait, I thought Angel was your boyfriend. Have you tried not being a Slayer?
Yeah, and Joyce's whole reaction here in Buffy's discussion, it starts here and it carries into the next scene, is very queer-coded. It's very coming out. There's a lot of writing online about people who identified with the questions and the the fear of the parents, and this is going to be dangerous for you. And have you just tried not being it?
Yeah.
There are people who are more well equipped to speak on this, I think, but this was a very for all the things this show does wrong given the era. This is a thing I think that has carried through and continues to be like a lighthouse to fans of this show.
I agree. Sort of like Tox Weasel's accidental feminism. There's kind of it becomes more intentional, but like they do a really good job at some of this stuff, which is why I think you and I are sitting here talking about this show in 2025.
Right.
Because there is enough stuff that nobody had ever seen done before, and that they pulled off and kept, and it remains relevant. So, we have to call that shit out too. Anyway, here's the deal. Bike is going to team up and, make sure Angel doesn't open a Cathla. And then the deal is that Spike gets to bounce with Drew.
And Buffy resists at first, and Spike's like, no Drew, no deal.
And she says, well, if Giles dies, she dies. Like, Giles is part of this equation for me. So that's the deal. Spike leaves. So now we're just left with Boyce arguing. And Joyce wants to call the cops, and Buffy is like, the cops can't fight demons. I have to do it. And there was this exhaustion to Buffy, this irritated exhaustion that I thought SMG pulled off so well, of just like, don't you think I would love it if somebody else, I have to do it. Like it's not a choice that I'm making. And then Buffy, this was a low blow. She tells Joyce to have another drink, and that sets Joyce off, which rightfully so. That was a low blow. That was some teenage bullshit.
I didn't
right
even
there.
realize we had Joyce's alcohol abuse to hold against her in the parenting
Motherfucker,
ledger.
we have never seen her drink before.
That's
ever.
what I'm saying. Buffy's
no, that's why
Willow suddenly has a boyfriend, and now Joyce is.
That's why it was
Joyce
a
is
low
drunk.
blow. That's why it was a low blow. She fuck off. God damn it. So Joyce, she's tried other parenting tactics. She's desperate. And I'm gonna argue with what I already know you're going to say.
Maybe I won't say anything.
She fucked this moment up so badly. That being said,
this is Joyce's number one defender over here.
That being said, I have so much empathy for the adrenaline surge that was going through her body. And this was, the Terminator screen of like
options.
And she chose the wrong one. She's, she was hoping that Buffy wouldn't call her bluff. And that desperation is awful. I feel so bad for everyone in this situation.
I agree. And my issue isn't with the way Joyce is written. I think Joyce is written as a very believable, very fallible, very human character. And like I've said before, if Joyce was just the sage mom that always knows what to say and has a fortune cookie to drop on every
we probably
thing,
wouldn't
we'd be so bored.
Yeah.
So I think she's written in a way that is both compelling and believable, and adds to the complication and the tensions in a way that some of the other characters that are meant to be complicating factors for Buffy don't achieve.
Yeah.
As a human observing the parenting that Buffy receives from Joyce, that's where the human in me goes, that parent is fucking up.
Right. So what she says is, if you leave, don't even think about coming back. Buffy has to leave. So Joyce immediately regrets it. Like, immediately realizes that she made a misstep. And it was heartbreaking. It was really heartbreaking. Now we go to Wazordi in the hospital. And Willow is like, I want to try the spell again. And everyone's like, bad idea. And she's like, resolve face, which was so cute. And she sends everyone out to their coordinates. She sends Cordaz to the library. Why?
Probably to get all the
supplies. Yeah.
Needs, yeah.
And then Xander somewhere else. Where did she send? Oh, to tell Buffy. Yep. Send Xander to tell Buffy I'm going to try the spell again.
Cordy and Oz are going to bring the stuff back, and the three of them are going to do the business.
Yeah. So back with Jangel, torture time, and Angel thinks he's broken him because Giles says, all right, to perform the ritual, you must do it in a tutu, you pillock. Which I went to Trivia Crypt. What is a pillock? And like,
You kind of know from context clues, but what is the actual word
yeah.
mean?
And I was just like, hello, Ripper. How are you? So then Spike wheels in his chair and very nonchalantly convinces Angel not to kill Giles. We know why, but he's able to justify it to Angel, saying,
He says,
oh, no, go ahead.
he says, yeah, I don't want to spend the next year trying to get a librarian
Out
of
of
the
my carpet. Yeah. And then he says, we have another way that we can do this. And he says, Drew, do you want to play a game? Dun, dun, dun. Buffy has gone to the library to grab a bag of weapons, and she's confronted by Snyder.
Interesting that Buffy and Oz and Cordy don't cross paths.
Yeah.
Sending people to the same
But also,
spot.
I mean, I guess.
And good thing they didn't grab the fucking duffel bag with the sword in it when they were bringing stuff back to Willow.
So true.
Yeah, this whole thing could have been cocked up.
So here's where we learn why an adult cop fired at an unarmed teenager.
In case you haven't noticed, the police of Sunnydale are deeply stupid.
Well, you got to figure anyone with any kind of sense, anyone with their head screwed on straight is going to look at this town and go, this is not the danger I'm ready to sign up for.
Yeah.
So the Sunnydale police force by default is peopled with people that aren't up to the task.
Right. Snyder gets a full erect boner as he expels Buffy. He's so excited about it. Buffy responds by pulling out a sword and saying, you never ever got a single date in high school, did you? And Snyder says, point being, which I loved. And she walks out, but like very much walks out with like the sword right here in Snyder's face, which I loved. And then Snyder calls the mayor. Hold that thought.
We've had another reference to the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
I think we skipped over that beat in our episode, but when the snakes appeared in I Only Have Eyes for You, Snyder's dealing with the police about like, what do we say?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, we decide the lie is going to be a sewer backup.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, well, you answer to the mayor. So the mayor has already been kind of name dropped a few times. Now the first time
Snyder and the mayor have a call him on the phone relationship.
Yeah. The first time it feels like it's purely administrative. It's just this person sits at the top of the hierarchy of the school administration. This time feels a lot more sinister.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot more dark undertones to this reference to the mayor. So as someone who's seen the show before, obviously I know we're going to meet the mayor next season, but
okay. So
we're getting clues.
Clue? Did you see a clue?
So back at the mansion, we now have a character combination that we have not seen before, but will not soon forget. Dryles. Drew is kneeling directly in front of Ripper, Giles. And she's doing her little hoobity-doo-doo-boo-boo-boo-blah. And she tells Giles to close his eyes. And when she reveals herself to him again, she's Jenny.
This was fucking diabolical and it was gut-wrenching. And it's one of my favorite things they've ever done on the show
It was
up to this
so
point.
intimate. It was so well acted. It was
some of the best acting we've seen out of Ruby. I mean, she's always been good. I had no problem with any of Jenny's scenes, but this was fucking phenomenal.
This was noteless. This was really, really
and it
good.
has the added effect of making us miss her so much more. She goes, oh, she's so fucking good.
And they're
she's
so
not on the show anymore.
Good together. Yeah. And
second favorite couple.
Yeah. And Giles, is so unwell that he believes that it's Jenny and tells Jenny, we have to keep Angel away from Akathla because Angel's blood is the key. They kiss, and then we zoom out and we see that Spangel is watching the whole thing, just kind of clinically with arms crossed, and they have to tell Drew to stop kissing Giles. I have no problem believing that Ripper is a good kisser.
Sure.
And I have no problem believing that Drew is a kissing connoisseur and knows a good kiss from a bad kiss. I have no doubt.
This reminded me of a thing from my past where I was in a play. I was 17 at the time. The girl I had a kissing scene with was 19, and she was dating the director, who was in his 30s, who was also the star of the play.
There's too much to unpack there. Go ahead.
So we had a kissing scene, and then it was just like, it was small theater spaces. So the lights would go out on us, blackout, and then the lights come up on the other side of the stage. And she would keep kissing me for a good 5 or 10 seconds into the blackout and like sucking on my tongue, like after our scene had ended. And her boyfriend was the director and star of this play. But I think he was so much older, and I think she was excited to kiss someone closer to her own age, I guess. And maybe I was also a really fucking good kisser. Like you can weigh in on that. But
join us for our spin-off podcast where we talk about nothing other than the production of that play and unpack everything that you just said for the last 30 seconds. Wow.
So that's what Drew was. Drew was like, scene over.
Yeah.
But the kissing continues.
Yeah.
That was my point.
Wow. Yeah, we're gonna need to talk about that for the next 6 hours. So anyway, Wuffy is at Giles's.
Can I pitch Bissler?
Yes, you can. Sustained. Bissler's at Giles, and this is where the Whistler has the opportunity to tell her that Angel is the only one that can open and close a Kathla.
And he's doing all the kind of business with a liquor bottle where he's clearly trying to find something to drink. He's trying to see if there's anything in the bottle, and he dumps it out. Like if there was any alcohol in that, you've just now spilled it onto the counter. You would pick it up and you would kind of look at it like this, and then, oh, look, there's something in there. I can drink it. You would never take an empty bottle and shake it out that way to see if there was something you could drink in it.
It reminds me of pretty much the very first thing that you do in as an acting major.
Okay.
There's a very specific exercise that sort of it shows the teachers like who needs to what we're working with here. It's where they just say, okay, look for your keys. They give you, it's a black box classroom. So it's just, table shapes, chair shapes, not necessarily anything. And they say, you've lost your keys, look for your keys. Now, the thing that is doing is the lesson is going to be about actually looking for your keys rather than telling the audience that you're looking for your keys. So you'll see a lot of like new actors do this. I'm not going to say anything, so I don't need to be on mic. Hold this. Rather than going, okay, well, clearly car keys wouldn't be underneath a laptop. And they're probably not, right? Like, so it felt like that where he's like, I need to show people that I'm looking for something to drink and that it's empty. It was just, it was acting silly. One, guys. Acting one. Buffy has her marching orders. And she says, I have nothing left to lose to Whistler. She leaves. And the Whistler does his own, he loves to do his own narration. He says, wrong, kid. You got one more thing. He was really vying for that narration job.
Well, he got to narrate. He was the voiceover in the last episode.
Yeah.
Again, the difference between part 1 and part 2.
So now it's morning at the museum. Morning at the mansion? Yeah, morning at the mansion. And Buffy is walking there. Xander intercepts her.
Comes tumbling down the hillside.
Yeah, with a rock. She takes it and hands him a steak. Not just a stick.
And she comes running at me, screaming with a stick.
She tells Xander, when we do this, your job is to get Giles out and run.
Run like a woman.
Yeah. Xander had one job. It was to tell Buffy that Willow was doing the spell, and he fucking didn't. This is diabolical. and what's your take? This really pissed me off.
I understand, because there's no way it's not going to come back on him.
Yeah.
Let's say things play out a certain way.
Like, he's risking his friendship with Buffy, that if she finds out, like, she would have played that entire thing so differently.
That's my only issue, is that I don't think she would have. She still would have needed to, because whether she knows the spell is happening or not, once he opens the portal, she's got to stab him to shut it. So I don't think it would have made a difference.
I think she would have taken the fight somewhere else. I think she would have.
But how do you take the fight somewhere else?
I don't know. I just feel like if I was Buffy and I had that in the back of my head, because we already know what she has in her head right now.
Mm-hmm.
What she has in her head is I have to kill him. I'm never going to get him back. This is it.
Mm-hmm. There
is no way. I'm not even necessarily saying that it wouldn't play out the same way, but I'd be approaching the situation differently.
But what this sets up, and we'll have to see how this plays out in season 3, is by not telling her, then they do a debrief after, and they're like, oh, did the spell work? And she's like, what spell? You did the spell? Yeah, Xander was supposed to tell you. Now Xander gets his head chopped off.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Sprugel is talking to Akathla, and Wazelia is doing a spell. We think that, like, it's all about to happen. Angel cuts his hand, and just before he can grab the sword, Buffy comes in and decapitates a guard. And Angel is so funny. He's like, I don't have time for this. And he's like, do you really think that you can take us all on? And she says, no, I don't. Spike stands up and hits Angel over the back of the head. That was another just
scream at the TV moment.
It's so great. And the James Marsters, he knows the assignment. Like, right. Every time he has these scenes, he fucking knows the assignment. So now we have a fight.
As frustrating as it was to just feel like we saw the same scene over and over
again,
again,
a payoff.
By the time he shows up in this episode, we're so thirsty for it that it's immensely satisfying. Now, do I feel like we could have gotten there with a little more variation throughout the back half of this season? Maybe, but it didn't matter. This was so sublime, I didn't care.
Yeah. So
I forgave everything in this episode.
So now Drew is pissed, and she attacks Spike for fucking up the whole thing and for lying to her and everything. And Spike says, I don't want to hurt you, baby. But Drew won't stop attacking him. So he punches her back and says, well, it doesn't mean I won't. And just, this is where Spike's off to the races now in this series. It's just...
And doesn't
full Spike all the time. So we're kind of going back and forth between the spell and the fight. Xander manages to grab Giles.
They have such a great moment.
This one is so great. So Giles is still not with it. He doesn't want to believe that Xander is there to save him. He thinks it's another glamour, that, maybe Xander is Angel. And he says the glamour or the magic or whatever is showing me what I want to see. And Xander comes around and says, then why would you see me? Which is so funny.
It was the same energy as that scene in the first X-Men movie when they aren't sure if Wolverine is actually Wolverine or if it's Mystique pretending to be Wolverine.
Yeah.
It's me. Prove it. You're a dick. Okay.
Yeah, that's so great. So Giles escapes. We can check them off. They're good. Fight. Angel pulls the sword in the melee. This is what I'm talking about. This is an example where, like, Buffy was distracted. She was fighting somebody else. I feel like her focus would just be so honed in on this. Again, not saying it would have played out any differently. But she does take her eye off Angel long enough for him to grab the sword and pull it out. And I just wonder if she had that in the back of her head, would that have gone down that way? I don't know. This is where Spike chokes out Drew because he just needs her to shush. Willow be spelling, Bangel be fighting, back and forth. Willow is suddenly overcome, and she's clearly possessed by the magic. She's speaking crazy Latin. Sorting. Sprue makes their escape. Buffy is now cornered. She's tired. Angel has the sword. And he says, you know, you take away your friends, you take away your watcher, take all of that away, and what's left? And Buffy has her eyes closed, and he goes to stab her in the face. I can only presume, which is just, the poet is at work. Like, he's like, I'm not going to stab you in a reasonable place. I'm going to stab you through
The middle of your face.
the middle of your face. But she claps the sword.
Which is definitely a callback to the
movie.
moment in the movie when Merrick throws a knife at Buffy's head and she catches it.
What are two clips that give off the same energy?
They're fighting near a Kathla. Willow is spelling. Angel is ensouled. Buffy's shock and confusion was incredible.
Yeah. The acting in this was, for any issues we've ever had with either one of these two's sort of acting crutches, this played out perfectly.
Yeah, they did a really great job. He remembers nothing. All he sees is the person from whom he seeks comfort standing in front of him.
And we know from, and this is where, frankly, the flashback in the last episode pays off, where when he is first ensouled and he's like, I don't remember anything. There's like, it's going to come back to you.
Yeah.
Like, give it time. And then
Yeah.
you're going to remember all of it.
Yeah.
So we know that he will eventually get it back.
So they're hugging, and Buffy over his shoulder sees a Kathla's mouth opening, and she knows there's only one way to close it.
And I'm confused about the mechanics of this.
Okay.
So she doesn't stake him. She doesn't decapitate him. She stabs him in the chest with a sword, which I guess it's a magic sword, but like that shouldn't kill a vampire, right?
No, I'm not saying anything.
So he, the Shrek statue's mouth is open. There's a whirlpool behind him.
Mm-hmm. And she shushes him, kisses him, says, I love you, tells him to close his eyes, and stabs through him into the Shrek statue.
And he takes this pose where he's reaching out,
Yeah.
which we've seen before.
Mm-hmm.
In Buffy's dream in Surprise, when Drew kills him, he does. I've always found this image, because this is iconic. It's a very strange posture.
It is.
It doesn't, but it's exactly what he did in that. So she saw that in a prophecy.
Yeah. And this song starts playing. Jesus Christ. This song that they play from now into the credits. I'm stabbed into a Kathla. Like, I am being sucked into a hell dimension with this song. It is so beautiful and so well placed. This needle drop is second to only one other needle drop.
I have a guess.
You can say it. I'm sure Mom will forget.
Goodbye to you.
Yeah. So now we're just kind of seeing the aftermath of all of this. Joyce finds a note from Buffy. We don't know what it says. We can presume that she's leaving.
Deuces, bitch.
The Scoobies are at school. They have no word from Buffy, but the world didn't end. So something must have worked. And
Willow, ever hopeful, is like, maybe he did get ensouled and they're just like having a romantic weekend.
Yeah. And because she says she thinks it worked. She felt something. And we see that Buffy is watching them from a distance. And then he's dissociating, because now we're talking about like this really emotional, like gut-wrenching part, and he doesn't want to go all the way down, so he's dissociating, keeping it at surface level so that he can make jokes about it.
Marital grievance.
Final shot is Buffy heading out of Sunnydale on a bus, on a Greyhound, now leaving Sunnydale,
which is such a powerful note to end and must have just like driven people crazy. I'm trying to remember if I watched the show pretty regularly when it first aired. I don't remember specifically if I saw this finale in the first run, but yeah, the interminable wait, the 6
just
months
like,
until the show comes back.
Yeah. Of like, how are we getting out of this? Yeah. It was.
Or what is the show going to be? Is she going to go off on a different adventure and we're never seeing any of these fucking people again? Like, we don't know where this is heading.
We have no idea
on a first watch.
That's the end of season 2.
Fuck, what a good show. What a good way to end a really good season.
Yeah. Shall we have our final yearbook meeting for
For the season? Yeah,
the
let's
season?
do it. Sunnydale High Yearbook Committee meeting now in session. Who'd you have for best dressed?
Best dressed, I know this is going to be controversial because you commented on it for the opposite reason when we were watching it. Angel's all black outfit. I loved it. And I'll tell you when it was solidified for me. After Dryles is kissing and Angel and Spike are behind them and he's standing there, you get a full body shot of what that fit looks like on his body. The jeans, the belt, the shirt, it worked, bro. It worked, and it like honestly is one of those outfits that you might see on like a super hot model and be like, that's impractical. Nobody can wear that. Only this guy can wear that. So am I saying that like some guy can wear this outfit? No, he'd look ridiculous. Angel, killing it.
Dissenting opinion. His satin shirt was too puffy, tucked into his jeans. He looked like he was doing Dread Pirate Roberts cosplay.
Where's the issue?
I think you're going to also possibly find my pick controversial.
Okay.
Cordelia's striped sweater. Cordy can pull off a striped sweater.
Listen, as I said, my issue was not always with the sweater itself. It was with the repetition.
It was the
of
volume of striped sweaters.
And so I agree with you that this felt like a dig, that Cordelia was so obviously wearing a striped sweater.
You took it personally.
I did.
You felt
Yeah.
Who'd you have for worst dressed?
Worst dressed. The two of them separately, not an issue. In one scene together, it felt too strange and intentional, and it felt like it was trying to tell me that there was some symbolism that I wasn't catching, where Spike and Joyce are wearing virtually the same outfit, very
the same
stark
colors,
black and red, and it was just like it was so. They were so paired up in that moment that I was like, are they trying to tell
it was
tell
distracting.
me something? Yeah, it was distracting. So it was the two of them together that I was just like, what are we doing?
We already talked about this in the episode, but Buffy's disguise. She looked great, but she
looked like
exactly
Buffy.
she looked like Buffy with a beanie.
Yeah.
Because the police are going to go, well, wait, the girl we're looking for wasn't wearing a beanie, so that can't be her. Like, that's so silly.
Yeah.
And the police find her anyway. And
Yeah.
they clock her on the spot and pull a gun on her when Spike shows up.
Listen,
So this disguise did nothing.
She's a Slayer. She's not necessarily a world-class disguise spy. So that's what they're called, right?
Right.
World-class disguise spies.
Yes. I mean, we've seen her.
Despise. I'm tired.
I think we're wearing out the rim shot guy today.
I know.
I think, between her beanie and her Carmen Sandiego outfit from season 1, Buffy should stop trying to wear disguises.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right. What'd you have for best line?
Best line, because it was so indicative of the chemistry of this couple and how I'm putting this out there as the best line in hopes of seeing more.
My head feels big. Is it big?
No, it's head-sized.
The way that Willow has a way of talking in this sort of very childlike but poetic way, and Oz just answers her in that same way.
Right. Matches her energy.
Is so beautiful. And they do this throughout their relationship, and it's lovely every time.
I want to show where they're the main couple because their chemistry is flawless, and I love all their scenes together. And it just makes me so upset that like we lost him for almost half a season after their first kiss.
Yeah.
I'll still never be able to understand all that.
Yeah.
Similarly, mine is indicative of the chemistry between a couple on this show.
Okay.
I hate you.
And I'm all you've got.
So great. Also so indicative of the dynamics between these two characters.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Who'd you have for worst line?
Worst line, I had Buffy's Freaky Friday moment with that was about equal parts protecting me and copping a feel, right?
Yeah.
Just a weird dissociation in an emotional moment that was.
I identify with her in that, but I agree. It clanged against my ears like someone dropping pots and pans on the floor.
Agreed. Yeah.
Mine is probably one that flies under the radar, but when Buffy's confronting Whistler and says,
What are you, just some immortal demon sent down to even the score between good and evil?
Good guess.
but he like fumbles around. He looks like Jimmy Fallon breaking character on SNL. Like it's the weird. He's
yeah. It was
good
kind of
guess. Like it's so
it was
strange.
a weird take.
Yeah,
it was a
I
weird
wasn't
take.
feeling
Yeah.
it. Dishonorable mention. Your girlfriend's a big hoe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Come on.
What'd you have for best move?
Buffy catching the sword. Like, I mean, it's such a good move.
I liked Spike saving Buffy from the cop and saying, "Hello, cutie."
Oh, that was good too.
And I got a tie. Drew's Jenny impression.
That was a good move.
Yeah, so many good moves.
So many good moves.
And finally, last most likely for the school year,
Mm-hmm.
who did you have for most likely?
I would like to write this fanfic. Most likely to have been a spy for the Americans during the Revolutionary War. Spike. I bet he was a spy because it would have been beneficial to him. He's going to play whichever side, and he's British, and we already know that he plays
whatever side
works for him.
Yeah.
And he was a vampire at that time. I think he was. Let's trivia crypt that. I think I'm right. I think he was a vampire at that time. We can look up when he was vamped.
Okay, we'll get to the bottom of it.
I think he would have been a great spy for the Americans.
I love that. Mine is most likely to have a career in Vegas as an impressionist, Drusilla.
Oh, yeah, that act.
Because her Jenny impression was flawless.
Yeah.
Spot on.
These impersonations, I swear you would think it was the real people.
All right, well, that was season 2, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. We're going to be back next week for the kickoff of season 3. We're not taking any breaks, so we're coming right back at you. Please please subscribe, please leave a comment. Tell us your picks for best line, worst line, best dressed, worst dressed, best move, and most likely. And if you're listening on a podcast app, 5-star rating, leave a comment where applicable. Anything you can do to interact with this video just helps the various algorithms push it out to more people. We can invite more people to the party. We also have a Patreon, as I mentioned. $5 a month gets you a watch along. We watch every episode and comment on it. We talk over the whole thing before we record these episodes. We also do the Trivia Crypt Minisode, where we do a deep dive into fun facts behind the scenes and anything that we discuss that we don't know the answer to. We look it up. We share it there. Sometimes we share your comments as well. And while you're checking things out, please check out our other show, Kim and Ket Stay Alive, maybe, co-starring her and the hilarious Kim Burns. Lately, every so often, I'm guesting on that because Kim's on maternity leave. I produce that show, and that comes out every Wednesday wherever you listen to podcasts. On social media at KKSam Podcast. This show is on social media at Major Slayage Pod. That's all we got. Can't thank you enough. We'll see you next Monday. Until then,
Dust you later.